In today's video, we will be telling you all about Firefly's new two-stage launch vehicle. We see more bold, creative, and inventive concepts as more businesses in the space sector create new technologies. While they are riskier than ordinary rockets, they can bring nearly endless launch rewards if they are successful. Firefly Aerospace manufactures this two-stage launch vehicle unlike anything that you have seen before. What's in the vehicle? How will it be helpful to us? When is the final launch taking place? Stay tuned with us to find out. Firefly is an integral part of a movement in the industry whose prime and sole directive is to establish increased access to space. It is evident that it is in a race to compete with SpaceX and aspires to become the next SpaceX or surpass the Elon Musk-owned company. Before we tell you about the vehicle, let's tell you all about the company making this. Firefly Aerospace is a private American aerospace company based in Austin, Texas, that builds launch vehicles for commercial orbital missions. In May 2021, the firm concluded its $75 million Series A funding round, sponsored by Data Holdings. The present firm was created in 2017 after EOS Launcher bought the assets of a previous company, Firefly Space Systems, then renamed it Firefly Aerospace. Firefly Aerospace is a supporter of New Space, a movement of the aerospace industry to increase access to space. There are various vehicles that Firefly has designed or is designing. The three launch vehicles that they are responsible for designing are the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. Not surprisingly, the company is also on its journey to get to the moon, like most of its competitors. Blue Ghost is a lunar lander developed by Firefly to fulfill NASA's upgraded CLPS lunar lander specifications. The uncommon Blue Ghost Firefly inspired the lander's name. NASA awarded Firefly Aerospace a CLPS contract for $93.3 million on February 4, 2021, to deliver a suite of 10 research studies and technology demonstrations to the moon in 2023. The grant is part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services project, which enlists the help of private companies to deploy research and technological payloads on the moon fast. The project is an essential aspect of NASA's Artemis program. End-to-end delivery services comprising payload integration, launch from Earth, landing on the moon, and mission operations will be handled by Firefly Aerospace. This is Firefly Aerospace's first delivery, and it will use its Blue Ghost lander, which the firm created and constructed at its Cedar Park factory to transfer cargo to the moon. This building will also contain NASA and non-NASA payload integration and act as the company's mission operations center for the 2023 delivery. Hold up! Before we announce the name of the two-stage vehicle and tell you all about it, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more space content. Firefly Alpha is a two-stage orbital expendable rocket or launch vehicle designed by Firefly Aerospace to address the small commercial satellite launch market. Alpha is designed to give clients launch alternatives for full-service and ride-sharing vehicles. Alpha was revamped following the bankruptcy and restructuring of Firefly in 2017. Currently, the vehicle has two stages, each measuring 1.8 meters in diameter and containing RP-1 propellant. The rocket's primary body is a lightweight carbon composite material. The first stage of Alpha is powered by four Reaver-1 RP-1 tap-off cylinder engines with a thrust of 736.1 kilonewtons. One Lightning 1 LOX RP-1 engine delivers 70.1 kilonewtons of thrust to the second stage. During a long-duration test fire in March 2018, Lightning 1 was tested for over 5 minutes in Briggs, Texas. The engine was ignited for the first time. The Alpha airframe is made entirely of carbon fiber composite material. Because denser materials like titanium and aluminum would result in a heavier airframe, which would take more fuel to launch, carbon fiber makes the rocket more fuel efficient. Alpha can launch a 1,000 kilogram payload into a 200 kilometer low Earth orbit, or a 630 kilogram payload into a 500 kilometer Sun synchronous orbit, ideal for CubeSats and other small loads. Primary payloads can be used alone or in tandem with secondary payloads, having a total capacity of up to 6 CubeSats. This gives Firefly's clients access to a dedicated small satellite launcher, which eliminates the problems associated with ride-sharing and secondary payloads. These smaller satellites can launch on their timetable rather than waiting for the readiness of all other payloads, and they can have an orbit that is not defined by a more significant load. Firefly Aerospace was given a $5.5 million contract by NASA's Launch Services program in 2015 to help develop Alpha, which will make it simpler to enter the small satellite market. Alpha is also meant to be a direct American rival in the small satellite market to India's Polar satellite launch vehicle, which they think threatens U.S. domestic launchers due to its rideshare capacity in the market. Well, this was an introduction to this vehicle and the purpose it's meant to serve. However, there is an entirely different reason why this vehicle made headlines. Keep watching to find out. We want to give you a huge thanks if you've reached this far in the video. It would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, you can get a chance to win our monthly shoutout giveaway if you comment "I subbed" down below. Now, let's continue with the launch failure. Alpha's maiden launch took place on September 2021 from a leased pad at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, with a planned flight path southwest over the Pacific Ocean. On September 5, the company announced that the rocket had failed within 3 to 5 minutes of the launch. A video was posted on September 2nd where it is seen that the rocket lost control and eventually failed within minutes of the launch. The range's operator, Space Launch Delta 30, subsequently used its flight termination technology to blow the rocket up. According to a description accompanying the footage, one of the 4 Reaver engines in the rocket's first stage, labeled Engine 2, shut down 15 seconds into the flight. According to the corporation, the engine's primary propellant valves closed and propulsion from Engine 2 was cut off. The rocket continued to ascend using the remaining 3 engines, although with less thrust. That would explain the aircraft's underperformance. The vehicle was intended to achieve Mach 1 67 seconds into the flight, but launch controls didn't indicate the vehicle was supersonic until 2 minutes and 20 seconds after liftoff, according to the company's press kit. According to the footage, the rocket tumbled for about 10 seconds before being destroyed by the flight termination mechanism. The vehicle's cargo fairing came off as the gyrations began, but the rocket remained intact, with its remaining engines running until the mission termination mechanism activated. Before the launch, the corporation stressed that the mission was essentially a test flight with only a few cargoes, and hence the company was allegedly glad to have collected data through this failure. Firefly has begun a thorough anomaly investigation to determine why Engine 2 shut down early and find out other pertinent, unexpected occurrences during flight. The company is looking forward to conducting the second launch as soon as possible. The company is also developing their next 2-stage launch vehicle, Firefly Gamma, which is a uniquely designed vehicle still in its early stages to change how we access space. Very little is known about the vehicle yet, purely because the company is more focused on its other projects. But according to what we know, it is a highly futuristic, reusable vehicle and represents the most versatile vehicle in the world. An optional air launch or ground launch configuration carries the potential for hypersonic transportation on Earth. Of course, as mentioned before, it has a 2-stage launch technology and it's expected to be used mainly for the transportation of cargo. That is all we know about it yet, but you would be the first to know as soon as we get any additional information. Alpha, as we said, is currently preparing to conduct its second launch as soon as possible. We hope this launch is successful, since this vehicle can genuinely change the future. That's it for today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.